Hi guys, JT here, and today I'm bringing you information on 10 games in March's Diamond Collection bundle to help you in picking your 5 games. I'm really quite surprised that you wanted this. I thought you would deem it too expensive, but here it is. Anyway, let's get into this. And number 1 we have Coromon, a game that is reminiscent of classic Pokemon games. Set in the high-tech world of Valua, you play as a new hire at a tech company, researching a mysterious energy produced by elemental titans, instead of, being a 10-year-old kid who hardly ages. Alongside a team of Coromon, you'll capture, train, and battle titans to collect their essence before a shady organization gets to it first. Coromon offers a robust character customization with various skin colors, hair types, and outfits, and over 100 types of monsters to collect. The sprite-based visuals feature strong outlines and vibrant colors, giving the game a retro look that's rich in detail. This game also features a complex map with dungeon-like areas packed with puzzles to solve and hazards to avoid, and unique exploration actions that can be used for puzzle solving and exploration. Combat takes place in themed battle screens, such as pyramid-laden deserts, frosty tundras, and volcanic caverns. It is turn-based and similar to classic Pokemon battles, but with improvements that make fighting, leveling, and customizing your team more rewarding. You can allocate stats to your Coromon as it levels up, and choose to build a well-rounded creature, a tanky HP sponge, or a glass cannon. There's also a rarity system with rare variants of each creature that have greater potential for growth. If you're looking for a fresh take on the monster taming genre, Coromon is definitely worth playing. And number 2 we have Whoopass, Immortal Death, a hack-and-slash action adventure game with puzzle elements. In the game, you play as the titular character Whoopass, a crazy knight who must defeat the Immortal, a wizard with a huge army. Think of him as Saruman, and find a legendary villain-beating artifact, like the ring from Lord of the Rings. The game is set in a crazy world of Wildwood, where you'll meet several NPCs, including Melisandre, who will help you on your journey. You'll have to collect the 3 pieces of the villain-beating artifact, located in the biggest dungeons of the game. There are also 14 energy sources you'll have to deactivate in smaller dungeons, ancient ruins scattered around Wildwood landscape. You'll also find shrines and puzzles to complete, and you'll receive rare weapons or hats, which will boost one or more of your skill sets. The game is not challenging, but it's fun to play, and you'll encounter enemies everywhere to slay. The gameplay is frantic, and you can block attacks or dodge them. The dungeons are fun with puzzles and obstacles. The graphics, soundtrack, and voiceovers are great, and the game has a great sense of humor. If you're looking for a fun, crazy, and humorous game to play, Whoopass, Immortal Death is definitely worth a look. And number 3 we have The Evil Within 2, a psychological action horror game that is determined to terrify players beyond jump scares. The game revels in its grotesqueness, featuring scenes of burning to death, exploding heads, and force feeding. While there are the occasional cheap frights from the game's zombie natives, The Evil Within 2 offers a far more ambitious game than the 2014 original, with its torture antagonists, open world elements, and manifestations of guilt-driven grief. The game drops protagonist Sebastian Castellanos into a simulated world of Union, which is a corrupted, monster-ridden town thought to contain his presumed dead daughter, Lily. The open world structure presents a more thoughtful approach to progression, and the game's new cover system enhances the stealth elements. Variety in means of attack is important, as the environment can often be manipulated to suit the player's circumstances. The game offers a new crafting system that lets you turn your plundered treasures into bullets, crossbow bolts, and health items, among other things. The narrative tells a similar tale of anguish, where Castellanos has been duped by the faceless Mobius Corporation. The game features unpredictable foes in the form of mentally unhinged art lover Stefano Valentini and power-mad cultist Father Theodore Wallace, who will both keep you on your toes in the story and in battle. If you're into a game with a good blend of horror, action, and story, this game is definitely one to play. And number 4 we have The Evil Within, a tough and creative survival horror game that is aesthetically, functionally, and spiritually aligns with the original Resident Evil 4. The game is about investigating a multiple homicide at Beacon Mental Hospital in its fictional Crimson City, which becomes gradually less compelling and eventually buckles under the weight of its own unfocused ambition. The lifeless player character, you, Detective Sebastian Castellanos, does not help the game's narrative wrapper. Despite this, you will explore some incredibly strange and wonderful places in the game's 15 chapters. The level designs are small and linear, yet become claustrophobic and labyrinthian due to excellent lighting. The enemies, inspired by Japanese horror movies, get weirder as the game progresses. You have only a modest but well-balanced arsenal to fight, which includes a pistol, shotgun, sniper rifle, grenade, and crossbow combo. Ammo, first aid, and stamina are scarce, and checkpoints are scarce, adding to the game's difficulty. The simple upgrade system using green gel improves your abilities, weapons, stock, and crossbow bolts. The game's pacing is intense, and its aim is to create chaos, not control, and it achieves that brilliantly. If you're looking for a gory and unsettling horror game, The Evil Within is definitely worth checking out. The bundle edition also includes DLCs for the game, which will give you further backstory on several of the characters and villains in the main game. They are definitely worth a playthrough. And number 5 we have Golfie, a deck building game that combines the strategy of a card game with the skill of a golf game. In this game you take on the role of a golfer, building a deck of cards that represent your golfing abilities. Each card in your deck represents a different type of shot, such as a drive or a putt. As you progress through the game, you'll encounter various obstacles and hazards that require you to strategize and make the right shot choices. The game's mechanics are easy to learn, but mastering them requires skill and strategy. As you play, you'll need to manage your resources wisely, making sure you have enough cards to make it through each level. The game's graphics are simple but effective, with bright colors and charming character designs. The game's sound design is also noteworthy, with a catchy soundtrack that perfectly complements the game's tone. One of the standout features of Golfie is its unique blend of genres. The game successfully combines the strategy and depth of a card game with the physical skill of a golf game. Overall, Golfie is a fun and engaging game that offers a unique and satisfying experience. The game's blend of genres and strategic gameplay make it a must-play for fans of both card games and golf games. And number 6 we have Guacamelee 2, the sequel to the Mexican meets Metroidvania game Guacamelee. It retains the same artistic and gameplay charm of its predecessor. However, its length and overwrought meta references drag it down. You play as Juan, who must travel through parallel universes and timelines to reclaim his cosmic luchador powers and save the universe. The game's visual style is beautiful, with a soundtrack that blends arcade synths with mariachi band overtones. Each dungeon culminates in a boss fight, and a new move that proves essential to trouncing the platformer aspects of the game. The trans-dimensional hopping puzzles, while hypnotic, are also frustratingly hard, and death sends you back to the start of scenes and puzzle points. The game's B-plot, the Chicken Illuminati, opens up a new world of foul antics and grants chickeny powers, adding another dimension to the gameplay. The 4-player co-op feature lends itself well to the game. However, Guacamelee 2 is too complex for a new player to just join in off the cuff, especially at later levels. If you're a fan of platformers or Metroidvania style games, or running around dressed as Rey Mysterio, you should definitely check out Guacamelee 2. And number 7 we have Aground, a mining and crafting RPG that is much deeper than its description suggests. The game is about surviving as the sole survivor on an island after a shipwreck or a plane crash. You get to meet and interact with other friendly survivors, and by helping them you can unlock new technologies, structures, and places to visit. The game has a very sophisticated gameplay loop with flavors of Minecraft and Terraria. The game has bosses and regular creatures that you can fight or tame, and the latter can become your familiar to help you in fights. The game has a unique way of dealing with bosses and encounters, and you should not be in a hurry to like a smackdown on enemies. Actual combat in this game is pretty tough, and you can choose between ranged and melee options. You can also craft weapons like guns or bows, depending on your preferences. Aground has new concepts, materials, and craftable items introduced intuitively as you progress in the game. If you find yourself unable to complete tasks or win fights, you can gather materials, do a few quests, get better gear, and try again. Aground is a fantastic game with many things to do, from raising dragons to building spaceships. While the game is not without its flaws, such as occasional bugs and some repetitive moments, it is a game that is well worth the investment for those who enjoy survival and crafting games. And number 8 we have RFL Enhanced Edition, an RPG game. In this game you play as a girl named Lita, who lives in a world where magic has been forbidden by the ruling kingdom. The game's story is engaging and well written, with memorable characters and charming aesthetic. The game's world is filled with interesting locations to explore, from lush forests to icy mountains. The gameplay in RFL Enhanced Edition is turn-based, with a focus on strategy and customization. You'll need to carefully plan your actions in battle, utilizing your party members' unique abilities to gain the upper hand. The game's graphics are beautiful, with hand-drawn backgrounds and character sprites. The music and sound design are also noteworthy, with an original soundtrack that perfectly complements the game's atmosphere. One of the standout features of RFL Enhanced Edition is its emphasis on exploration and puzzle solving. Throughout the game, you'll encounter various obstacles and challenges that will require you to think creatively and use your skills to overcome. Overall, RFL Enhanced Edition is a fantastic RPG that offers a satisfying and immersive experience. The game's engaging story, beautiful graphics, and strategic gameplay make it a must-play for fans of the genre. And number 9 we have City of Gangsters, a single-player turn-based game set during the American Prohibition. The game focuses on the financial and social aspects of managing a mafia organization, and you must accrue favors, grow a network of trust, and make strategic decisions to become the godfather of the city. The game offers a unique tutorial and a variety of quests that teach new skills, help you make connections, and provide rewards that make questing worthwhile. The favors that you earn can be cashed in for introductions to new people, find new businesses, and other useful things. The game also has a focus on producing and consuming illicit alcohol, and you must balance your profits with your relationship with the people of the city. The game has a good progression mechanic, locking away advanced techniques behind mini-missions, and you must put in effort, time, and money into relationships before you can accrue multiple useful favors. However, the game does have some bugs, and sometimes the dialogue can omit the actual task you're about to undertake. Overall, City of Gangsters is a well-balanced game that requires you to make strategic decisions, manage resources wisely, and grow a network of trust to succeed. At number 10 we have Harmony's Odyssey, a jigsaw puzzle. If you're a fan of jigsaw puzzles, you might want to try this game out. The game provides cute dioramas that have been cut into squares, and your task is to piece them back together again. What's great about digital jigsaws is that they often have quality of life improvements that make the experience quicker, easier, and more satisfying. In Harmony's Odyssey, unique objects are cut in half, which provides lots of visual cues for help, and you can easily group things together. The game is designed to relax and unwind your brain, and it doesn't have time limits nor move limits. The dioramas are well designed, and they usually have something taking place in them, which makes them come to life as you piece them back together. You can move blocks of 2, 4, or 6 together, and you can highlight objects that are already in the right place to make it easier to swap blank walls around. There are also short mini-games and unlockable bonus levels, but the real joy comes from the 3D dioramas themselves. The game has a cute and cartoonish soundtrack and responsive controls. It's an easy winner that provides an enjoyable and feel-good time, and there are 3 difficulty modes to tailor your level of rearrangement to your liking. Overall, Harmony's Odyssey is a game for those who just wish to unwind while solving a 3D jigsaw puzzle. And that's all for this bundle. This bundle has some great games in it, albeit very pricey compared to most bundles. However, if you're really wanting some newer games like Coromon or Sir Whoopass for cheap, you might want to consider this. Anyway, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. And I was actually winking and pointing at the screen, but you can't really see me, so